Hey guys, Off Topic Games with our Luard deck profile. It's a little different from like the ones that I've seen running around. Personally, I prefer this version of the deck, but the other decks are probably like okay too. Luard's just like really strong right now. Who knew it would have taken literally one card to move it up to a tier? And it's not Ogma, it's the Owl. So we're playing Nessa as our starter because you can rest it and give two things 4,000. It's so good that like you get to make your columns like even stronger, and for like a late game grindy deck, making numbers is super important because like you're not gonna like nothing in your deck is just gonna flat out kill them. Like the whole point of the deck is just like out sustain them and then hit them with good numbers until they die. So that's why I like playing Nessa. No, you can play David if you want. It's just it felt bad every time I had to like Luard ability David away to like call the two things. So that's why I'm playing Nessa. Next, playing 4 heals because heals are good. Heals are ridiculously good right now. Probably the best trigger. I don't know if you would agree.
Heals, yeah.
Yeah, best trigger. Then
besides crits, but
yeah, 2 draws because it can like fuel your soul when you start running out. Soul's like kind of important in this deck, and it kind of like sucks when you run out of soul. Last tech choice is like our stand. One stand. We're using the one that counts as 2 because you're able to like fold it out, and it can really save you in certain situations. A lot of people play the cat that that like plays 2 off the top of the deck.
It's a raven.
Oh, is it a raven?
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever it's called. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that because you can lose like decent cards that you just don't want to see like go away. Next we play 5 whatever crits. You can play literally any crit here and it's fine. And then lastly, MVP of the deck for Belial Owl. Belial Owl is when it's retired, you get to draw a card because it's dumb. It's literally no reason. And then GB1, when you're at Ritual, at the end of the turn, if you have a Vanguard with Luard in its name, you get to put it back. And it's literally for no reason. It's super good. It's just like a self-sustaining draw engine, which works very well with the deck. If you could run 8, you would run 8, but you can only play 4. Next to grade 1s, 1 Swordbreaker because it has its uses. We weren't playing it in the old Luard deck because like Drag Driver Luard is super like soul dependent, so you don't have soul to like keep sustaining this card. Next, 2 Night Sky Eagle. It's an 11k when you call it, just for the turn that you call it. Really good, helps you hit numbers with like 10ks. 2 Stride Fodder because Stride Fodder is very good, very good. For Esrus, I like Esrus over the Unflipper because you're able to abuse owls and constantly add it. It lets you like PG aggressively, even in turns where like you wouldn't necessarily need to PG. It's just like really safe. It prevents you from like dying really early to like random stuff because you don't feel bad about using a PG. If you guys didn't know, Esrus' skill is Ritual, GB1, retire something, send a copy of itself to the bottom of the deck, and then add the other one from the drops into your hand. So it's really, really good. Like, it saved me so many times, especially because this game's like a late game deck. Self-sustaining PGs, like, really help. I think it's better than the Grand Blue one because, like, you don't need to commit to it, if that makes any sense. Like, you don't need to, like, call it to your board and have it, like, interfere with your plays. That's why I prefer, like, that's why I like this one. Next, for Abyssal Owl, searches Luard, unflips when you retire it for Luard's effect. Really good. Just a solid card. Like, there's no reason not to play 4. This is like a random grade 2. I like it for Deep Lease because I do play a Dismal. So you're able to like 25k guard their like sorry. You're able to 25k guard their like their Leon and their Break Ride play, which really helps because that makes it it has resist, so they can't just retire it for free. Or they can't retire it like or guard break you with it. Next we play 6 10k vanillas. Of course, you could play 7 and cut that. It's whatever. 10k vanillas are good in this format because aggro is a thing and you don't want to get aggro down because Luard's about like getting there, and then once you're there, like you sustain yourself for so long. Really good against Grand Blue because Grand Blue can't rush you down. It's just a really good like meta call. Grand Blue, or not Grand Blue, Gears are starting to play it. It's very solid. Next, for Morfessa, expensive card. It's pretty good though. 14 plus 7 equals 21, and 21's a good number. Moving on. Also, it counts as a grade 1 in drop when you're at GB1, so just solid. For Luard, because Luard is good. It's the namesake of the deck. Prevents you from decking out. Free striding's insane. Popping one thing to call to is also really good. If you pop an owl, it's free. There's just really good things like about the card. We really had a feeling that it was going to be like really broken, like just the Luard grade 3. Just like from what it said when we read it the first time, made it sound insane. Next, we play 3 Folda. Folda's an interesting card. Never want to ride it. It feels kind of bad, but it allows you to like literally just call out your owls and go off. It's just like a really solid choice for this deck. Problems I've had with Folda was literally one game I got like stuck on it forever, and it was very hard, and it might have like cost me my. I drew in that round, and I think if I was on Luard, I would have just like ran away with the first game, and it would have been a completely different story. Side note, I probably should have just skipped the round after I was stuck on Folda for 3 turns, and then we could have just moved on, and I wouldn't have gone to time anyways. But you know, what can we do? Next for the G zone, play 2 Doomed and 3 Orgeyser. These are your. So they're originally like Shadow Paladin's draw engine in the first place, but now even more so, it just adds on to your big draw engine. You're able to like Orgeyser Doomed, pop 2 owls and something else, reveal 2, pop 1 to 2, or pop 0 to 2 cards, but generally you pop 1 at least. So you draw 2 off of this, and then because you pop 2 owls, you draw 2 more. And it's just a really like insane play. Turn Orgeyser, turns Doomed into what was originally a minus into like a plus, which is really good. Orgeyser you run for the Doomed. We do play 1 extra Orgeyser just in case you're playing in a matchup where they don't have anything on board. So like against Grand Blue, this is like really good to go into first. And then after that, after you use the first one, your Orgeyser will now have a crit. And then with the leftover one, you're able to just like spectral it away. Which leads us to our next card. We play 2 Spectral because they pair up with like the other Orgeyser that you didn't use, and it also like pairs up with your Sabreeze. Spectral's a restander, really solid for like push plays, etc. You can make the effect technically free if you really want to, like Soul Blast, pop an owl, swing, counterblast 2, pop 2 owls, you like unflip 3 for that turn. But generally you pop like Belial Owl and just draw off of it, which is really good. Next we play 2 Carnivore for if you run out of counterblast, but generally you can manage your counterblast really well in this deck and almost never run out. But Carnivore is like super solid if they have like 2 things and you really need to get rid of them. I find it really good against like Gear Chronicle, like when they end their turn and they have like TikTok, History Maker, and their starter. Like you can force them like. So they either get rid of their History Maker or they get rid of their TikTok, which in almost every situation they're going to get rid of History Maker, but it's still just like solid to make them like choose. And sometimes they only end with like TikTok and their starter, which then like you for sure go into this because you want TikTok off the board, 100%. Next, Diablo for those pesky Grand Blue players that forget how to play the game, and with like less than 2 things on board, you just kill them. Also, 36 and a crit isn't bad for Counterblast 1. Technically, it's like Counterblast 1, 36k and a crit. You force them to retire 2 things unless they have like an insane amount of G-guards. Yeah, Diablo's a good card still. 1 Sabreeze, because it's Sabreeze. Your deck's really reliant on GB, and Sabreeze helps you get there. Next, 3 plot maker because plot maker's good. Like there's nothing really to say about plot maker other than that he's a free like 25k guard. And then 1 Dismal because there's certain matchups that you have that Dismal comes in handy, such as like Narukami. Narukami is a really hard matchup for this deck. Prevents you from dying to VMAX for like nothing. Also, it helps in the D-Police matchup because we do run the 10k Interceptor. It's a very situational card, but like there's nothing better to run here, I don't think. You could like play a Gleam maybe. Other Shadow Paladin G-Guard sucks. The new one coming out in Fighters Collection also sucks. Like, we don't got a lot to work with. You could actually just play 4 Plot Maker if you really wanted to and it would work out. But yeah, that's Luard. Really strong deck. Really grindy, so if you're not like willing to go to time in like a decent amount of your rounds, this probably isn't the deck for you. But if you enjoy having a lot of cards in hand, a lot of control, the deck's really good. I really enjoyed it because you end every turn with like 11 to 13 cards in your hand. Sometimes more depending on your matchup. You like run over Gold Paladin if you ever run into them. What else are like super favorite matchups for you?
Link Joker.
Yeah, Link Joker's pretty favored because you kill off your board. They can't really do anything about it. I would say your hardest matchups are probably like Narukami, Sanctuary Guard. If Sanctuary Guard gets going first. It's like a toss-up with Sanctuary Guard. Like if they get the first stride off, you're probably just like dead. But if you stride first, you can like sustain through their turns. Debatably, you gridlock yourself against Sanctuary Guard. As bad as it sounds, but you definitely want first stride against them. Gears is an interesting matchup. I haven't played it too much. I'm not sure like how good it is for the deck. I know it's a lot of like trying to out-sustain them through their turns. Grand Blue is also super grindy. You go to like super late with Grand Blue if you like go off early. But yeah, that's the deck. It's really fun. I enjoy it. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the deck profile. Card suggestions if you think some things aren't alike. I mean, you guys are probably going to do that anyways, even if I didn't tell you. But yeah, social media links are in the description below. And yeah.